You're watching another True Villain commentary.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And today, honestly, this is one of those videos I wish I did not have to make. Because Tom Kane has died at 64 years old. And for a lot of people outside gaming, that name is going to be connected to Yoda, the Clone Wars, the Powerpuff Girls, and a whole list of legendary voice roles. But for a lot of us in this community, especially if you've been around Call of Duty Zombies for years, that voice is always going to hit a little different. That was Takeo Masaki. And real talk, that's what makes this one hurt. Because voice actors are one of those parts of gaming people do not always appreciate enough until they're gone. You remember the characters, you remember the quotes, you remember the vibe, you remember the moments. But sometimes you don't stop and really think about the person who gave that character its actual soul. Tom Kane was one of those people. He had one of those voices where the second you heard it, it carried weight. It sounded experienced. It sounded serious. It sounded memorable. And in Zombies, that mattered so much. Because Takeo was not just another guy in the crew, he had this balance where he could sound honorable, calm, intense, wise, and completely unhinged depending on the moment. That is hard to do. A lot of iconic zombies characters work because their actors understood exactly how weird, dark, and over the top that mode could be without making it feel fake. Tom Kane absolutely had that. He gave Takeo that presence where even when the story got crazier and crazier, the character still felt grounded in his own way. And I think that's why so many people react hard when a voice actor like this passes. Because if you grew up playing zombies, those voices are tied to actual memories. Late nights with friends, trying to survive one more round, hearing lines you've heard 1,000 times and still not getting tired of them, arguing about the story, running back old maps, getting lost in all that chaos. That stuff sticks with people, and the people behind those voices become part of that memory, whether everybody realizes it or not. Now, outside of Call of Duty, Tom Kane's career was obviously way bigger than just one franchise. He was one of the most recognizable voices in animation and games for years. People, Entertainment Weekly, and NPR, KUNC all noted that he was known for Yoda, Professor Utonium, him, and a long list of other major roles across TV, games, and film related projects. So, this is one of those losses that hits multiple fan bases at once. Star Wars fans feel it, animation fans feel it, COD fans feel it. And another part of this that makes it even sadder is knowing what he had already gone through. The reporting says he died from complications related to the stroke he suffered in 2020. And after that stroke, he lost much of his ability to speak and officially retired in 2021. So, this wasn't just some sudden random tragedy that came out of nowhere. It's also the end of a really difficult chapter in his life. That's why I think the right way to talk about this isn't just here's the news, is to actually acknowledge what the guy meant. Because in gaming, especially in Call of Duty, a lot of people talk about mechanics, maps, balance, guns, updates, player counts, all that stuff, and obviously that matters. But what makes people emotionally connect to a game usually comes down to something else: characters, atmosphere, voice, personality, delivery, the feeling a game leaves in your head years later. Tom Kane was part of that for a lot of people. He helped make a mode like Zombies feel bigger than just a side mode. He helped make characters feel iconic instead of disposable. And when someone does that, they leave something behind that outlives patches, engines, consoles, and all the rest of it. That's legacy. And I think that's why even people who maybe did not know his name right away still recognize what he meant the second they hear which roles he played. That's when it clicks. That's when people go, oh wow, yeah, I grew up with that voice. So for me, this is just one of those moments where you stop arguing about games for a second and just respect the person behind part of your experience with them. Tom Kane left a mark on Call of Duty. He left a mark on Star Wars. He left a mark on animation in general. And if you grew up around any of those things, chances are he was part of your life, whether you realized it at the time or not. Rest in peace to Tom Kane, and condolences to his family, his friends, and everybody who loved his work. If you've got a favorite Tom Kane role or a zombie's memory that always stuck with you, let me know in the comments. And if you're new around here, subscribe. See you guys in the next video.